Jump Around, and that's from
House of Pain.
House of Pain. And so that was like the early kind of seedlings of this. And then like by the time you get to, because that predates Black Sunday, by the time you get to Black Sunday, it was more of like, okay, we got the formula now.
Yeah.
Good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark.
Yo.
Ali.
What up?
Myself, Nesquick, and together,
That's hip-hop.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does mean a lot. Today we're discussing one of the most influential hip-hop groups of all time. Emerging from Southgate, Los Angeles in the late 1980s and redefining West Coast rap with their dark, psychedelic sound, unapologetic Latino identity, and crossover appeal. Cypress Hill was formed by Be Real and Sen Dog, Cuban-American rappers whose nasal, aggressive delivery and street narrative stood apart from anything else in hip-hop at the time. They were soon joined by producer DJ Muggs, whose eerie bass-heavy beats became the backbone of Cypress Hill's sound. Rooted in LA street culture, but drawing from funk, rock, and Eastern mysticism, they quickly carved out their own lane that was raw, rebellious, and globally resonant. We're discussing their sophomore studio album, Black Sunday, released on July 20th, 1993, by Rough House and Columbia Records. The album debuted at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200, selling 261,000 copies in its first week of sales. Also, with their previous album, Cypress Hill, still in the charts, they became the first hip-hop group ever to have 2 albums on the top 10 of the U.S. Billboard 200 at the same time. The album went quadruple platinum in the U.S. with 3.4 million units sold.
Damn.
It peaked at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200. The album was produced by their producer DJ Muggs and T-Ray. Singles include Insane in the Brain, When the Shit Goes Down, I Ain't Going Out Like That, and Like a Shot.
Lick a shot.
Lick a Shot, excuse me. The length was 43 minutes and 38 seconds. Cypress Hill, big time group, definitely carved out their own lane. I'm curious when your guys' like first time of hearing Cypress Hill was, if any of you guys remember.
I can think of 2 times kind of like that define it. One that neither one I really wasn't familiar with who it was. I was so young, but I can definitely pinpoint like Be Real's voice. I mean, you can't escape it or deny what it was. I mean, it sounded like a freaking cartoon character on like in outer space or something, man.
No, man.
Like this dude's voice was something different. But the first time, definitely, I can remember going, driving to LA one, Saturday or something or Friday, and Insane in the Brain coming on the radio. That song was huge. I remember hearing that song on the radio a lot around that, probably like the mid 90s. And then I can say like another time that I vividly remember. I'm a little older at this time. The first time I saw Juice, I might have been like 10 or 11, one of those. But then I remember that scene when towards the end when a bishop is trying to get a Q, and How I Could Just Kill a Man is playing. And
chasing them under the bridge.
Under the bridge and in the little right before the elevator scene, all of that. Like that was like I remember hearing that song and I was just like, this song sounds crazy.
Yeah, that hook is crazy.
Nuts. So and then I can, kind of pinpoint, another like so those are the times I'm like, okay, I'm hearing these guys, but I don't really know who they are. But I can say the first time I was able to actually like, okay, like this is Cypress Hill was when I got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And that's that on Radio Los, I think it was Radio Los Santos was the radio
San
station.
Andreas, man.
And they had How I Could Just Kill a Man was on the radio station. And I remember hearing it. I was like, okay, oh, that's Cypress Hill. So that's when I was able to really just kind of pinpoint who it was and really go back and kind of do my homework on them. But yeah, definitely those 2 songs, Insane in the Brain and How I Can Just Kill a Man, those just being in certain areas and things that I'm listening to or being around, it's like, okay, yeah, these dudes are a big deal.
What about you, Mark?
The first time I heard of Cypress Hill, in the most literal sense, was the Simpsons episode where Homer is in Lollapalooza. It's not called Lollapalooza in there for the reasons, but
That's a festival, right? Is that
it's a festival, and Homer's actually the cannonball guy who actually gets shot.
Okay, I can't remember.
Got shot in the stomach, and he takes cannonball hits. He's touring with the Smashing Pumpkins, but on that tour as well is Cypress Hill. And there's a scene where they're in the backstage area and the production manager is all like, did anyone order the London Symphony Orchestra? And then they pan out and the whole London Symphony Orchestra is just there waiting to like be used by one of the people performing. He's all like, did anyone order the London Symphony Orchestra? Possibly Wall High. Cypress Hill, I'm looking in your direction. And Cypress Hill actually did it. They actually like ended up using them in the episode, but some 25 odd years later, Cypress Hill actually ended up using the London Symphony Orchestra in a performance.
Oh wow!
They did it not too long ago, so they predicted another Simpsons prediction done in full force. But when it comes to their songs, Cypress Hill had to have been around to where my cousin Bobby, may he rest in peace, he introduced me to a lot of music. Wu-Tang Clan, most importantly, but also would play Cypress Hill, would play Kid Frost. And
Dang, Kid Frost, that's great.
Yeah. Do it for la raza. But yeah, he would play those, and he was very... he has very deep. He had very deep Latino roots, and he would, tell me, "Oh, you don't like Cypress Hill," or like you would put me on game with them. And yeah, those are the times where I heard it. But me being a Simpsons fan, I saw him first on the Simpsons.
That's funny. Yeah. I remember my brother put me on. My brother put me on to a lot of music. Probably inspired me most to hip hop. If anything, he introduced me to it because before him, it was country songs. It was Christian songs, and because that's what my parents' background or music that they were playing all the time. So when I would go on these like road trips or go on errands with my brother, it'd be like Wu-Tang, it'd be Bone Thugs and Harmony, and one of the joints was Cypress Hill. And I remember him kind of mentioning his voice. It's like, oh man, this guy's voice is crazy, it's dope. Like you got to hear it. And I'm hearing it, I'm like, dude, it's like you said, alien, like it's like you never heard this voice. So like up there and nasally, like that nasally. This is pre-Eminem for me.
Yes.
So before I even heard Eminem, because Eminem had a nasally voice for a time. This is pre that.
Before, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's somehow like that balanced the bass heavy tones that you would hear. And I was just like, this is hip hop, but it's like a little different. It had a very distinctive sound to it, and that attributed to DJ Muggs with the bass. It almost sounds like those big violin basses, almost like that kind of. I don't know if it is that, but it's
funny you mentioned that. He actually has like his sound is gothic in nature.
Yeah, so it's very dark
organs, percussion,
and that also plays to just the Latino culture in general. We seem to have some sort of fascination with death and Dia de los Muertos, and that's just something that's religious as well. So those like themes are there, along with just the bass lines themselves,
live instrumentation.
So hearing all these things, it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it definitely sounded different, but then at the same time, it did sound influence from New York, because the actual drums and stuff was like the boom bap style of New York at the time,
and Muggs from New York as well.
New York, yeah. So it makes sense now. But being from LA, because that's all I kind of got was these were LA guys. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like this isn't gangsta like the other stuff that was out,
right?
But at the same time, it kind of was. Street realism was in it, but then it was also weed friendly. One of the very first hip hop groups, by the way, that were also weed friendly. This is right around the time when that wave started happening because of, discussions on weed being illegal or it should be legal and stuff like that. But later on, once I became more conscious of who I was a fan of and stuff, and this is during like the Napster LimeWire era, I would download a lot of hip hop because I was looking for instrumentals. And one of those instrumentals was Rap Superstar. And I was like, this beat is crazy.
I remember that.
And it drove me to the actual song. And I heard that one and I was like, this is like very, very different. And to me, it just like, I never could forget that because it was like he was just talking to everybody. Oh, so you want to be a rap superstar, live large, 5 cars. And, you know, that's like, it's the American dream in a sort of way. Like, you want to be famous, you want to be rich. And he was speaking to all that. So that was crazy to me. And then later on, fast forward, I become obsessed with the group Psycho Realm. And he was a part of that as well. And, you know, the rest is history. I became a big fan of Cypress Hill. And I remember seeing them at Rock the Bells. I think it was 2008, the one I went to. But a legendary performance from Rock the Bells. So, yeah. And Be Real also featured, speaking of like Alien, like he also featured on the Space Jam collaboration with Busta Rhymes.
Yep. Hit 'em high.
Yeah, he hit him high. That one was a classic joint.
Yep.
So,
and one other song I forgot to mention too that I remember hearing at a very young age. Again, not putting the piece together who it was, but they were on the Friday soundtrack with "Roll It Up, Light It Up, Smoke It Up," and it's the scene where Craig finally, you know, smokes weed for the first time, and they're playing that song, and I just remember like, oh, this is different. Yep. So yeah, that was another big one that I remember hearing at an early age.
We talked about like Mount Rushmores for West Coast before. Be Real is definitely one of these guys on Mount Rushmore for weed-friendly hip-hop artists. Like it'd be him, Snoop Dogg.
Well, Snoop used to have he used to run like what he called like a GGN network was the name of the YouTube channel he used to have. So he would just like bring a bunch of rappers on, interview them. It was like an early podcast type. You know what I mean? This is before podcasts really got big, but Snoop was doing this back in like 2010, 11, 12, 13. And I think he had Redman on one time. And they were talking about the rappers that should be on Mount Cushmore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They called it Mount Cushmore. And they said it's Snoop, Method Man, Redman, and Be Real. They said they said those are the 4 heads on Mount Cushmore.
Yeah, because there's always legendary stories of people smoking out with them and stuff like that. So dope group. Thoughts about going into Black Sunday? What was like some of your guys' thoughts going into this one?
I actually wanted to at least preface this whole thing with it's a very great story that you had with Chuck introducing you to Cypress Hill. What made you pick this album in particular of Cypress Hill's?
Oh,
because this is your album.
Yeah,
choice.
because we were going on this like kind of streak of like choosing albums that were successful and were kind of big. This for sure is one of that in their catalog.
Yep.
This was a very successful sophomore album that really, to be quadruple platinum is, and to this day, this album is a staple that you could go back to. Like if you were trying to introduce somebody to Cypress Hill, this is a good album to introduce them to start. And I felt like the joints on here were early formations of their sound where they started to get it like right. Cause before there was talks of like Jump Around being kind of that early sound from like, and I think DJ Muzz was a part of that, the Jump Around. And that's from House of Pain. And so that was like the early kind of seedlings of this. And then like by the time you get to, cause that predates Black Sunday, by the time you get to Black Sunday, it was more of like, okay, we got the formula now.
Yeah.
And so you can hear it all throughout the album. It's consistent with like the bass. It's the same type of bass, but just different melody to it. And then same kind of drums, sort of, just kind of a little bit different. Sometimes it could easily go into like a slow, chill vibe, and then sometimes it could pick it up and like really fasten up, like you're at a concert or festival or something. But then at the same time, you hear like crossover, like you can hear this at a festival with live bands. Yeah. Like it could work, or you could hear it in a rock setting or jazz setting. Like there's different elements to it. That's the part I think where it crosses over.
Oh yeah.
And it goes into like the stratosphere after that. Like,
you win on so many levels because you're not only entertaining the hip hop fan base, but you can go to Woodstock like they
works.
they would do and just dominate in every aspect. They can tour with Limp Bizkit. They can go to these places because, hey, look, they're bringing a live band. They're bringing in percussion reinforced beats. They have the weed crowd. So their net, Cypress Hill's net, is probably the largest net that anyone in hip hop's ever casted.
Yeah.
Because you are casting a wide net. And this isn't just, sorry to cut you off, but this isn't just like, oh yeah, we like smoking weed, that kind of cast net. No, bro. This is rock bass. This is hip hop bass still, because they're still kicking rhymes.
Right.
They're still actually bringing a message of revolt, of actually upliftment, no pun intended with them being high. But yeah, it's just a super wide net. And like, dude, I really honestly think that no one's casting a net as wide as them as far as audience capture and retention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to vibe like that, you're going to get that because they have a lot of festival type songs, but then they have chill songs where you just spark up.
It's from the Bong.
Yeah. It's psychedelic, but it's like rooted in street realism.
Of course. Yeah. It's a story to tell for sure.
You can hear sounds of like Public Enemy influences. Big time. And I just think, man, and they're in LA, like West Coast, and that was kind of cool to have, because West Coast was so dominated in like G-funk style that this was a cool refresher of, okay,
something
we got
different.
other stuff. So that was kind of cool. When you guys listen through this album, what do you guys get style-wise out of here? Now, I also want to mention Sen Dog as well.
For sure.
Part of this. I don't feel like I mentioned him enough, but he also balances, I think, from the nasally sound of Be Real, Sen Dog brings the more deeper tone and with the hooks and call and response to sort of thing. What do you guys think style-wise out of this?
I just think they're the perfect. I feel like they were a group that were ahead of their time, but also right on time. Ahead in the sense of just their sound and really being the first like big, Latino, acts in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like to be on that level. Like we really hadn't seen.
Oh yeah.
We hadn't seen any, Latinos in hip hop reach that level of success yet. You know what I mean? There were some that were doing it, but I mean, to go quadruple platinum, that just wasn't a thing yet. You know what I mean? So for them to hit that with this record, it's because of the various types of sounds and subject matters that they bring, whether it be, like I said, the weed stuff, the street stuff. I mean, it's at a time where, we want, hip hop. You look at a song like Insane in the Brain, like it's right around, you got songs like Hip Hop Parade, you got songs like Gin and Juice, you got songs like Jump Around. Like it fits right in, even though the subject matter is a little different, but it fits in with those big hyper anthem records. You know what I mean? So they were really good at doing those type of songs. Like I said, first album you had, How I Could Just Kill a Man, and what's the other one they had on the first album? Hand on the Pump.
Oh yeah.
And then you had on this one, you get, Insane in the Brain. So it's like they knew how to, and then obviously later on you mentioned with Rap Superstar, like they kind of brought like kind of what Naughty by Nature did as far as like every album having an anthem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this album, I feel like it was built around the anthem of Insane in the Brain.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do enough research to figure out if that was the first song they did or one of the last ones, but just based on history of in most big rap albums, typically the song like that is usually one of the last ones they do.
Yep.
Typically, again, I could be dead wrong, but it seems like it kind of like they had their formula for the rest of the album, and then it's like, okay, we want something to really hit everybody over the head with to really take this thing off, and you had Insane in the Brain to do that.
Because that thing can work from anything, like for a birthday party for kids. Like it could work for commercials. It could work for movie. Like it could work for so many different things.
Vocals or just the instrumental by itself.
Yep.
I want to make sure that we put a lot of emphasis on it, but the fact that they're just a multifaceted group with areas of expertise in different regions, your DJ Muggs production, which is New York based, sewn into the mix of Cypress Hill. You have Be Real and Sen Dog bringing the Latino based roots of that culture from LA woven into Cypress Hill. And you end up bringing the instrumentation aspect of it too. And all that just collects into just this group that expands out and just gets everybody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
This group is hip hop, but it reaches so many people, and the fact that there's so the group is multifaceted, and that's something that not a lot of groups within hip hop can say.
And I feel like they were. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, Mark, but I also feel like they were so important because there's a lot of unfortunately a lot of black and brown tension in LA just for decades. But I feel like with Cypress Hill, they, were wise enough, and even guys like Snoop, what I mean, how they pretty much were cool pretty much their whole careers. And then they would do a song like how Snoop did Vato with Be Real on the hook, what I mean, to show that unity was huge, what I mean? And the willingness to go ahead and do that and really show that, that unity and really try to, because a lot of street politics, Be Real was a blood, what I mean? So, bringing all of these different elements to show all sides of LA that, this can happen and this can work and it should work because we're just more dangerous together than apart. And, we had, various situations with Cypress Hill. I mean, like I said, they were, them and Snoop were pretty much good. They were down with Dub C for a while. What I mean? They did have a, brief, beef with Ice Cube and Mac 10, shortly. Thankfully, that ended up getting squashed because they knew how big that could have gotten.
Was that just over like the closeness of the sound? Or?
Yeah, so it started because Ice Cube was working with them on some tracks, and then apparently he was doing some songs that
the Friday joint.
They
right?
felt like he was biting some stuff that they was doing. Yes, so they took that as like he was biting them. What I mean? So they figured that Cube was biting what they was doing. Word gets back to Cube, this, that, and the third. And then, so now he's pissed, and West Side Connection, they do, diss records on him, but Dub C isn't on him because Dub C was cool with them. Yeah. So it was just Cube and Mac 10 because, like I said, Dub was tight with them. So they go back and forth.
I think they even had something with Eminem too for a little bit.
A little bit, yep. Because, kind of again, biting was just, you couldn't do that. Yeah. Even if it wasn't all the way, if somebody thought you was biting, it was a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, Cypress Hill, again, they've carved their lane in so many different ways in hip hop. They've got big records. They are battle tested. They got, again, street ties. So they cover all bases, especially on the West Coast. So Cypress Hill is a group you have to give props to. You just have to.
Yeah, I think a great example of where they fit or what their role, where they fit best. A great demonstration of that is Training Day. Like that sound, the doom 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 doom, and then you just see Denzel driving in the Cadillac, taking them through the hood and taking them to like even the Mexican hood, and bringing them into to that trap. That was kind of cool, and that just shows you like the lane that they carved Cypress Hill to be able to represent that. That culture or that side of it in LA is like, that just shows you a great demonstration of the sound that they bring or could bring. And it's that fear, it's that, sense of paranoia in the street, and Be Real brings that psycho part of it, element into it, where it's like, you don't know what I'm going to do or what I'm capable to do. And that's hard to bring out sometimes. And I think Be Real just does that so effortlessly, because it's just hardwired in him to do. And then Sen Dog, I think that dude is really good at just balancing, like I said, balancing that, because Be Real so nasally, very psycho nasally, where you need the muscle part of it, like, bringing it more like, like the reinforcement of that, like just making sure it's cemented, while you have DJ Muggs orchestrating or architecting the actual sound, the hard bass, boom, boom, very consistent formula there. And then, just that bearer sound, like it just sounds like you're at a graveyard constantly. Like you're in the graveyard, like the album cover. It almost feels like that. And that sound is in hip hop, I'd never seen done yet until they came.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, how do they do that? Because it's just a bass, but yet they made it sound that way. So to me, I think I think they're pioneers in that way and bringing that sound, because I don't feel like there was any real representation of that before them. And then the weed thing too. I mean, like you said, they captivated this fan base of weed, and I think they mentioned that they might be the first people to spark up on stage. That that wasn't done yet.
Yeah, at least in rap. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Rick James might have first.
Yeah. Yes,
but as far as in rap, I think they might have been first.
Yeah,
do it on Saturday Night Live too.
That's different.
It's wild.
To do that on Saturday night, that is wild.
Yeah. That's bold.
Because that's
they're still waiting to get back.
Looking at the album cover, for those who are listening, we're looking at a graveyard. It's literally a hill full of tombstones all over the place. And then there's like a kind of like a see-through where you can like see through it underneath on the bottom of the album cover. It's like skull and bones. It's dark. It's raining. There's a thunderstorm. And at the very, very top of the hill, there's a tree that's also dead as well. And it's all in I forgot it's a filtered, like kind of, I don't know what you would call that filter, but it's like a grayish gold tint filter. And then you have Cypress Hill in the top right, Black Sunday. Yeah. Definitely a pun there, with Sunday usually being kind of bright, happy. And this is Black Sunday.
Might be a cypress tree at the top that's dead.
Oh,
yeah, the cypress tree.
Great point.
But the album cover itself is death upon death upon death.
Literally.
Even at the summit of this hill, usually the summit's a metaphor for achieving something.
Correct.
Even at the very top is a dead.
The tree is dead.
Tree, and the tree is always a euphemism for life. With the skulls on the bottom, this is could always be mistaken for an actual metal band, rock band. This is something that you could swipe. You could literally take Cypress Hill's logo out and put Korn's logo on it, Slipknot's logo.
It would fit perfectly.
Anybody, like anyone within that
Black Sabbath,
scope, Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden cover, any which one, but it plays into what they wanted to do. They've always wanted to be a group that didn't want to sell off the visage of their face. They always just wanted to let them, usually when you do that, you let the music speak for yourself.
That's true.
This is not a lot of album covers in hip hop come off this uncomfortable to a certain extent. It's like, oh man, that's
right. And this is their big album. This is the one that they're looking to be successful.
Yeah.
And they have it very dark and death and, scary almost.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that you noted, they're not showing their faces on it. That's also interesting. I don't know how their first cover was, their first debut album.
I don't think they're on that one either.
But or even just their discography.
Nope.
If
they've kept the same MO of just
not being on the album cover.
Yep. Yeah. I'm literally looking at all their albums. They're not in any of them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nope.
And that is where you kind of detour from the typical characteristics of the major label wanting to capitalize on, how you look, what you're dressed like.
Yeah, I mean, they could have.
What brands you're wearing on the album cover.
You're Latino. Let's try to make it Latino.
Drive this Cadillac. Drive this lowrider.
Yeah.
On top of the hill. Can you swap the cypress tree for a lowrider?
Right.
And some beers.
Yeah. Dude,
Why isn't anyone?
It's interesting.
There's no carne asada at the top of this Cypress Hill. No one's cooking.
Yeah. Why do you guys think that they went with Black Sunday? How do you think Black Sunday ties to all this?
I just think it almost just fits with the sound. It's dark.
Dark. Yeah.
Just dark. I mean, shoot. I think
Sunday could play to like the religious kind of things.
Sure.
Because there's always a sort of like, especially in Latino culture, there's like a religious sort of kind of, I don't know, it's almost tied with the identities.
Well, in the Catholic religion, the day before Palm Sunday, the day after, there's a Black Sunday, but I think it's like the Monday after Palm Sunday. I haven't been to church in a long time, so hold on. But there is a Black Sunday that the hardcore Catholics do celebrate. But however, there's also a literal Black Sunday in the agricultural world where there was a dust bowl so severe that it actually mutilated a lot of crops. And when there's a dust bowl that severe, the crops don't survive, and there's constant famine, and there's going to be no food, so the inevitable hunger from the lower class. Take the example of Interstellar, where the issue was that there was constant dust bowls, and there was the only crop to survive was corn, but even those were struggling.
Yeah.
So Black Sunday does correlate to an event that actually happened where there was a very intense dust bowl. I think it was in the late 1930s or something like that. I'd have to fact check it, but there was an actual event called Black Sunday.
I also think like staying with the death theme, it's also, a lot of people think it's like taboo to even think about death and try to avoid it, but they're more like embracing it. Like they're more like real about it. Like, this is something that's part of life. As much as life is, this is real, or even just the realism of the streets. Like, death could come like that.
Yeah.
You never know. And
I remember something. I kind of watched a little bit of the Drink Champs interview, and B Real was talking about how he'd been being before. Being in the wrong neighborhood. Because he was like, we got where I was staying at. Because I ran with Bloods, and it was this small little section where a lot of Crips are, and I got caught slipping, and boom, guys got me. So it was like,
I think he talks about that too on Lick a Shot.
Probably, yeah. So it's like, death is something that, obviously it's just a natural part of life, but even in that, him telling that story, he was like, those are the choices we make when we sign up for this street life, and I signed up for it, and you always know it can happen to you. Yeah. So it's not something that we take lightly, what we do and what we were doing when we were active. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's true. I appreciate, their style because it's unique and different. Where it's like nowadays, like a lot of anybody that comes out, it's like kind of like it's either similar, but this was like very
super left
at the time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is the point in the episode where we transition and we go into the actual album. We go into the lyrics. We dive in and we try to see what sort of literary techniques are going on. We try to look and see if there's any punchlines, if there's techniques that we're seeing with multisyllable, type rhyming or, whatever their techniques are. We try to uncover that. So on this track, we chose 3 tracks that were unanimous between us 3. The first big one is going to be Insane in the Brain.
Insane in the Brain.
Oh yeah, these are... Oh yeah, hits. Oh, I ain't going out like that. Being the second one, and then hits from the bomb.
So I think I ain't going out like that is first.
Okay, perfect.
Then Insane in the Brain, and then hits from the bomb.
I want to say that this album also starts off on brand.
Yes,
I want to get high.
I want to get high. Opening track.
Yeah. And so it almost feels like listening to this, like this would be very weed friendly, just smoking out, playing it through, listening to it while you're hotboxing or,
for sure,
just smoking and hanging out. Basically, this is like a perfect album to let play because of the sounds, because it's psychedelic still in its own way. And then it also is heavily talking about, the subject matter is heavily, I would say like half of it almost weed, and then the other half like street realism, you know, mainly coming off of like him being kind of on the defense, if anything. So we go into I Ain't Going Out Like That. This is an upbeat too, and I like the switch too, because I want to get high as like a slow doom, 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 like a chill vibe. And then when it goes into this track, it picks up. So I like that pickup too. All right, so first one, Be Real. Coming out of the slums, it's the hoodlums. I'm pulling my gat out on you bungs. So bring it on when you want to come fight this. Outlaw kicking the Billy Ray Cypress Hill. Chill, I'll bust that grill. Grab my gat and load up the steel. And if you want to get drastic, I'll pull up my plastic Glock automatic. Okay, so I can do this voice very easily because I kind of liked that register. But yeah, it's already starting out impactful. And I like the word choices like slums, hoodlums. I like that. And already talking about, you know, pulling out the gas.
I like how he flipped Billy Ray Cyrus's name and Billy Ray Cypress Hill.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. And if you want to get drastic, I'll pull out my plastic Glock, automatic, synthetic material, burial plots in order, hitting down to the Mexican border, smoking that smelly Northern Cali. Gonna put a slug in Captain O'Malley. Oh hum, hear the gat come, boom, let me see you what you'll do. It's a sin to kill a man, but I'll be damned if I'll take a stand. If I don't take a stand,
We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that.
We ain't going out.
We ain't going out like that. They usually would close songs out like that too. At the, do you imagine that'd be the last song?
We ain't
Going out like that. Damn, what a celebration. Verse 2 is Sen Dog. I'm high strung, click, I'm sprung, cause I don't live on the humdrum where I'm from. The cats be smoking. I'll be damned if you think I'm joking. Know that I'll come with a static, erratic, 4-5 automatic. Dude, anytime you get great, if you know what gun you're going to use in your rhymes, you better get some multis attached to it and everything like that. It's just ready for it, you know, especially if you're that kind of MC that will even do it.
Right.
But erratic, 4-5, Glock automatic. Let me see, 4-5 Glock automatic, screaming at ya, the red lights beaming at ya. No need to have to run after the punk ass hook in the oven, all cook. Dig the grave for the one who got played. Now we under. Don't make Stevie wonder why, cause he'll testify.
And I like it because, go ahead.
How's Stevie Wonder gonna testify? Sen Dog probably knows that Stevie Wonder's I could actually see.
There's a thing about that.
That's an industry urban legend that Stevie Wonder can actually see.
Shaq swears that he was at an elevator, and
he walked
Stevie
out.
Stevie Wonder was like, "What's up, Shaq?"
As soon as the elevator door.
Well, how would he know
What's up,
that's Shaq? Supposedly. Oh, and then there was another good story by Jamie Foxx. He said him and there was like a party at Mike Tyson's house.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was tripping on Cisco.
Stevie Wonder was playing the piano, and Mike Tyson was tripping.
Going off.
And also Stevie
Cisco.
Wonder was just like,
he got nervous and just had to
he
leave.
just walked out, like he backed out.
So many stories, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stories about that one.
The one where you recognize Shaq.
Yeah.
So this, I like this already because it shows you like the versatility would Be Real. Like he could go on a fast track, boom, 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 boom. We ain't like he could go in that timing, and then it still be gritty in his way. And I love that. But then you also see like the dude could rap, and so that's also cool. And then it's a different type of voice. So that's cool, and I feel like, you know, that's really kind of where he makes his mark. Verse 3.
I got you thinking, what the fuck is this? Letting you know I take care of business. Can I get a witness to verify when I depict this style? This makes you ecstatic, tragic. When I gotta pull out the magic Buddha. When I roll with my crew, I bet you one time can't find my Huda. in my vehicle with the belt unbuckled, pig rolling up, but he ain't that subtle. Pulled to the crib, so we exchanged a few words, but he got stirred up enough to grab the handcuffs. I huff and puff and blow your head off. Damn.
I feel like with Be Real, I feel like, you know, the thing that it works for him, because it doesn't seem like he has a lot of like punchlines or different like tricks, but it's the voice. The voice to me is what stands out the most.
Delivery
and the impact. That's the part I think that that's like his superpower there. Yeah, so dope track on the first one. Then we go on to the second track, which is Insane in the Membrane.
This song was out of
Insane
here.
in the Brain. They obviously started figuring out a formula with the hooks, though.
Yes.
Because you got Be Real doing it, and then Sen Dog.
Insane in the Brain.
Yeah, repeating that. Like, yeah, so there's definitely a formula now.
Here is something you can't understand.
Who I could just kill a man.
Like that's their formula.
Yeah,
It just works.
So Insane in the Brain. Let me go to that one. To the one on the flamboyant tip. Well, go ahead.
We gotta do the intro. The
Go ahead.
intro.
Do it.
And this is as cholo as I'm ever gonna get. Who you trying to get crazy with? Ese? Don't you know I'm local?
Classic.
They go with
perfect.
the rips.
That's the thing too. DJ Muggs, his signature with those sirens and those whistles and like that, the shrieks, the beeps. He's using like real sirens in the street, but like doing it in a way where it's now an instrument in the beat. You know, that's really that's the signature sound. Like today, you don't hear that. You don't hear that now. But at that time, like he made a signature sound with that. And it reminds me of Public Enemy as well, because Public Enemy has that too. To the one on the flamboyant tip, I'm just tossed that ham in the frying pan like spam. Get done when I come and slam. Damn, I feel like I'm the son of Sam. That part, iconic right there.
Yeah.
Don't make me wreck shit. Hectic. Get the chair. Got me going like General Electric, and the lights are blinking. I'm thinking it's all over, and I go out drinking. Oh, making my mind slow. That's why I don't with the big 4-0. Bro, I got to maintain. Because like me going insane.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. Classic.
Yeah, it works.
And even with further into the chorus, crazy insane, got no brain.
Classic.
Sen Dog, do my shit undercover. Now it's time for the blabber to watch that belly get fatter. Fat boy on a diet, don't try it. I'll jack your ass like a loot in a riot. My shit's fat like a sumo, slamming that ass, leaving your face in the grass. You know. So the crazy visual too. You actually like feel
the
how
grass.
severe it's going to be. You know I don't do low lightly. Punks get jealous cause they can't outright me or kick that style. Wicked, wow, happy face, never see me smile. Rip that mainframe, I'll explain. Like me is going insane.
I also see little like inspirations of Beastie Boys in this a little too. When they raw style, like Beastie Boys does that. Those little influences there.
Yep.
And then Insane in the
Membrane. Insane in the brain. Verse 3. Like Louis Armstrong played the trumpet, I'll hit that bong. You break you off something soon. I gotta go get. I got cops. Come try to snatch the crops. These pigs want to blow my house down. Head underground to the next town. They get mad when they come to raid my pad. And I'm out in the 9-deuce cad. Yes, I'm the pilot of the ship. If I get with the ultraviolet dream, hide from the red light beam. Now, do you believe in the unseen? Look, but don't your eyes strain. Like me is going insane.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. This sound like a straight
Crazy insane, got
a
no
straight
brain.
acid trip, man.
Yeah.
Like this song, like I ain't never been high a day in my life, but I feel like this is how it would feel.
I mean, I like sometimes the flips he does. I would say that's also another attribute to Be Real. He'll flip something differently, and you can see that in verse 3. Like using Louis Armstrong, the way he plays the trumpet is the way he hits the bong. Like that's kind of crazy, a flip on it. Or about the crops, the cops trying to snatch my crops as being the weed. It reminds me of Pusha T, what Pusha T does with Coke.
That's a perfect comparison.
He always has a unique way of
great comparison
using a metaphor for Coke, whereas Be Real will do something like that, but for weed.
Yep, that's a great comparison.
And then have something for the kids with the Three Little Pigs analogy. These pigs want to blow my house down.
That's funny.
Kids are like, oh yeah, I know who he's talking about. And then after that, the Glock automatic, the 4.5. Get to the back.
Yeah, but that's another thing too. He has a comedic element to him. That's another factor to him.
Yep.
Which I love. I love anytime Busta Rhymes has that. I love who else? ODB has that.
Eminem, Ludacris.
Luda. Yeah, I love
those
that
comedic.
It's wild that we have a small percentage of humorous MCs.
Yeah, it's not that many of them.
Wow.
But it's funny to where in the mainstream we get a lot of those. We don't not a lot of them. There's not a lot of serious cats in the game, but the most comedic and the most funny and the animated ones, they actually rise to the top.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is funny.
Yep. Redman.
Redman too.
A lot of there's a very, you would think there'd be more of them, but there's not that many that are
too masculine.
Funny. Yeah, everybody too hard. You know what I'm saying?
It was too tough.
Everybody too hard, unfortunately.
Yeah, but this song, out of here. Oh, there's still another verse, huh?
No, that's it. That's it. Hits from the Bong.
Yeah. Insane in the membrane, kind of loco. Yeah, the song was out of here. Everywhere. Everywhere you're going to hear this song.
Everywhere.
This isn't the only, cannabis-based track that they have. Before we close with the last one, Dr. Green Thumb.
Oh, yeah, that was
Chronologic. High Life. Stone is the way of the walk. Stuff. Oh no, this is Essential Cypress Hill I'm reading, but just various tracks that are just weed related. But that's still
to this day, that's what we're saying is that's who they are. That's what they've always done.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
early pioneers on it for sure.
Yes,
amen to that, man.
So then we go into other tracks. Let me try to go down the track listing because I do want to give some honorable mentions. When Shit Goes Down, that's another one too. Honorable mention of that one. Lick a Shot, where he tells a story about getting shot, but then wakes up from the dream and still gets shot. That was pretty crazy. And then what was it? Hand on the Glock was kind of a remake of the Hand on the Pump. They also did a clean version of this too. I think when it got big, they did a clean version, and I think they removed A to the K. I also want to mention though too, one of the big tracks that I remember from them that really got me hooked to Cypress Hill was I'm having illusions, all this confusion's going me up inside.
That was a big one.
I'm having illusions, all this confusion. They remind me sort of like the psychedelicness of Outkast, but in this Latino way. That's cool. I really enjoyed that. Anyways, we go on to the third track. The third track is going to be Hits from the Bong. And it's cool because this one uses the, was it Son of a Preacher Man track, the beginning of that. And this is probably the first sample I heard out of the album because before it was just bass, drums.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I heard an actual sample. Okay, so this is also a cool concept track because he dives further into the elements of hey, put the blunt down. We're going to show you how to do a bong.
Right.
Yeah.
This is early too. At this point in time, weed was considered
a drug.
The devil.
Yeah.
The drug.
Weed was a drug.
Jazz cabbage.
There was commercials of, really making it like
Oh yeah.
bad.
Even in the 60s, they had that propaganda documentary about like, you smoke the reefer?
Yeah.
It could cause severe brain damage, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. You
Yeah.
have to watch out for those reefer addicts.
So at this time when this dropped, very like not accepted like it is today.
No.
You know, if this dropped today, this is like nothing. But but at the time,
It was a big deal.
Very charged.
yeah. So verse 1, pick it, pack it, fire it up, come along and take a hit from the bong. Put the blunt down just for a second. Don't get me wrong, it's not a new method. Inhale, exhale, just got an ounce in the mail. I like a blunt or a big fat cone, but my double barrel bong is getting me stoned. Home skillet, there's water inside, don't spill it. It smells like shit on the carpet, still it. Goes down smooth when I get a clean hit on a skunky, funky, smelly green shit. Sing my song, puff all night long as I take hits from the bong. Hits from the bong, y'all.
Can I get a hit?
Hits from the bong.
Can I get a hit?
I like how in that first verse it's kind of a precursor to what ended up being that Friday song with the inhale, exhale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that roll it up, light it up, smoke it up, inhale, exhale. Like how he said it the way they ended up saying it on that song.
These songs thrive live because of the call and response.
Of course,
Yeah.
yes.
From the-
God, what a
There's
party.
plenty of that in this
What a party.
Oh yeah, if you don't like Contact High, don't go to a Cypress Hill show. Just don't go.
Or the best combination was, I was telling Isaiah before the show started that I was in the pit during Rock the Bells when Cypress Hill was there. But before they started, I went out of the pit because the combination of cholos and punk rockers in the same vicinity.
A great concoction.
Yeah, exactly. Freshly dressed cholos mixed in with punk rockers who are all like this and making pits. That wasn't going to go very well. So I left and got a good view of it. Yeah, that was
Smart
not
move.
a good. Yeah, exactly. And the Contact High as well.
You probably, we might have lost you like at a Travis Scott concert.
Oh man,
Bro, I didn't think I was going to survive you even at the end with the Rage Against the Machine concert at the end. That set was wild.
damn.
Yeah, well, smart decision there, Mark.
Yeah.
We go on
Verse
second
2.
verse 2.
Go ahead, Mark.
Let's smoke that bowl, hit the bong, and take that finger off of that hole. Plug it, unplug it, don't strain. I love you, Mary Jane. Peace to Rick James on that one.
Definitely.
She never complains when I hit Mary. With that same, I light up the cherry. She's so good to me. When I pack a fresh bowl, I clean the screen. Don't get me stirred up the smoke through the bubbling. Water is making it pure, so I gots to take my hit and hold it just like Chong. Peace to Cheech and Chong.
Chong.
I get the bowl and reload it. Get my 4-footer and bring it on as I take hits from the bong. Can I get a hit?
Just like Chong. I like kind of wanted him to mention Cheech and Chong, but Chong's cool. That's you still get the
He
idea.
was halfway there.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really watched those movies. Have you ever watched those movies?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
It's like half baked, like less production. No, it's real like Nice Streams. You know, for the Cheech and Chong enthusiasts out there, I watched Nice Streams as a kid, and it's just just drug comedy.
Okay.
Cheech and Chong had this thing going where it was pretty funny.
I know they have that song like Mexican American or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Born
I
in
know that.
East LA.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
Cheech Marin, man. Tommy Chong.
Takeaways from this album.
It's a classic. I mean, it's part of what made, you know, the early 90s, 1993 in particular. I think this came out in 93.
Yeah.
93 is considered one of the greatest years in the history of hip hop, and this album is right there with, you know, all the greats that came out that year. Doggy Style, Midnight Marauders,
Yeah, a lot of
36
good
36
music.
Chambers, Lethal Injection. I mean, 93 was loaded, and this album fit right in with all the other greats that came out that
And
year.
I could hear some Tribe. Like I feel like there's definitely some Tribe influence with the, you know, low end theory sound with the bass and all that.
Bass heavy, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I sense that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to guarantee the fact that the number of inspirations that Cypress Hill has probably spawned in terms of music is incalculable.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they've touched so many areas of music beyond hip hop. Anytime that you are inside the borders of hip hop, you kind of plateau and you don't grow out of it. But then you know your audience. You know, Cypress Hill is without those borders because they go in so many different, they just go spread out and they go upward because of every aspect of their artistry is done in a way that you're just like, dude, you can't tie these fools down. Can't.
Yep.
And the fact that I love being a part of this time where we get to know that, hey, look, dude, these guys are a very, very undersung part of hip hop. They don't get talked about enough.
Yeah. Like if I were to mention this to my coworkers, they might not know Cypress Hill, but they're so known. You know,
Yeah, and the fact that they were on The Simpsons, I hate bringing this up twice, but the fact that group Cypress Hill was actually on The Simpsons, dude, you had to get really noticed by those writers to do it because they know that to even mention you on The Simpsons was just valid,
right?
Whichever way, just valid already. Not a lot of people got on like that.
Right.
That's true.
And, you know, it's just I want to surmise it to tell you that these guys are very inspirational. We may not even know, like, even when we kick rhymes or whatever, that we're taking a little bit from it, you know, even anytime we just even talk about drug paraphernalia, even in a freestyle or whatever. Cypress Hill made that possible.
Yeah.
You know, there's times where, you know, people will talk about, you know, just even saying Insane in the Membrane.
Bam.
That piece to them. That was a good nod, you know?
And they could have ended there. They could have been a one-hit wonder.
Right.
You know, it could have, that could have been it.
Could have, yep.
You know?
Right.
But it shows you something to constantly, consistently make a hit and drop like Naughty by Nature style.
I mean, they even did it, the Loonies in the, I Got 5 on the remix. They say the line Insane in the Membrane. Like that line is said in the remix.
Yeah.
Like, that's how big that song was for, you know, just hip hop, and then even, you know, throughout weed and or drug culture, you could use it and it just works.
Right.
Mad respect to them,
You know,
dude.
for better or worse.
Yeah.
Because I bet you there's a bunch of rock bands that are just like, dude, I got that from Cypress Hill.
For sure.
Or, you know, just like instrumentation bands, just like that are kind of rock based. I got a lot of stuff from Cypress Hill.
Absolutely.
Latino, like a lot of the people that really dig Psycho Realm, those people of that ilk.
Chicano rap.
Yeah, that niche subgenre right there. Yeah.
East Coast hip hop. There's a lot of things you
In
can
a
take
sense,
from
it kind of
them.
pioneered that subgenre, really, when you think about it.
It's correct.
Early pioneers of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because you put them in these corners, but then the fact is
They're still very.
you can't put these.
They cross over very easily.
Right.
Yeah, they could easily be. You know, they're I think like festival folklore legends.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
When you know when you see them on the headline or something, you know it's about to be like
Oh yeah,
lit up.
It's up.
It's about to be lit up.
Absolutely.
For sure. And staples in hip hop. Like if I were to look at a hip hop poster, I would see Cypress Hill in there.
Absolutely.
They're like the Swiss Army knife. You know, they got a lot
going. The live
lot of useful
instrumentation, the scratching, the unique sound.
Yep.
You know, anytime I'm going to hear somebody with a high pitched nasally voice, I'm going to think Be Real.
Yep.
So that's going to always kind of happen, you know. And then a few guys that I know, Quasimodo, Eminem, there's some more out there that have that. But
and you needed people to break through that barrier of being like, hey, look,
take them seriously, right?
Yeah,
to take it seriously. And then just piece of this album. I feel like this one right here is a great introduction if you're getting into Cypress Hill. If you've never heard Cypress Hill, this is a good introduction to start to understand the influences that they have had on the genre, and then just, you know, the impact was real. I mean, to go quadruple platinum.
Yeah, on an album that kind of
Usually a
promotes
sophomore slump. You know, usually it's a slump, but this was out.
It went
out
bigger.
here.
The fact that they didn't match any of the characteristics of hip hop from the album, from any of that.
That's
and you didn't know what they looked like until you saw them live.
That's true,
you know,
too.
like
Or
that
a video.
Mysterious.
or in the High Times magazine.
Right.
Mysterious element to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also another thing. The mysterious.
I don't think I've ever seen B Real's eyes.
Yeah, because usually wear
Like
shades.
he's wearing
Yeah, with
shades all the
shades.
time. There's probably gonna be a moment where he's out there concert or whatever. I'm gonna see it, but it's like, dude, predominantly I was seeing Sen Dog for a while. Like in the Drink Champs interview, I finally saw his eyes.
Yep.
I was like,
Sen Dog actually
Usually
wasn't
with
wearing shades for
Lokes.
once.
yeah. It's like seeing the Wilson from Home Improvement. Finally seeing his
Right,
face.
right.
Like, dang, you weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah, that's very true. So check out Cypress Hill. Check out this album, Black Sunday. Let us know in the comments, though, what you guys think. What are some tracks that you guys like out of this album? Or what are some stories that you guys might have? Or what do you think about this album? We would like to hear that because the conversation continues. So
Exactly.
let us know in the comments. Also, please subscribe, share if you guys haven't done that already. Mark, go ahead, man. Let him have it.
To the MCs, when you drop a mic, make sure you drop a like. Otherwise, I'm going to steal your bike. And then make it a trike.
Make sure that you subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe now. Like and subscribe.